Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're in the workshop for another haul video. Hopefully you'll enjoy this. There's a bit of something for everyone, from wood to metal to decorative items. So without any further ado, let's crack on with it. First up, we have a 19th century brass chamber stick. Now, I think this is from the Georgian period. It has the ejector nozzle on the side, or the ejector lever, I should say, on the side. Showing in the close-up, there it is. And the purpose of this is to literally eject the candle when it's no longer practical for use. Just saves it getting stuck inside the stem or column of the candle. There's no maker's mark on it, but from its style, I would definitely date it to the early part of the 19th century. So in other words, the Regency or Georgian period. And how do I know that? Well, just through experience really, and the style. When I first started, and I'll show you, I used this book. Here it is. I'll show you on the close-up there. And it's called Candlesticks, and it was by Deborah Stratton. If you want some more information on this book, then I'll leave it in the details below. And if you actually flick through this, you will see somewhere, I can't find it at the moment. There we go. You can see this is prepared. There we go. So there's a little section on chamber sticks, and you can actually pretty well see my chamber stick there. I don't know if I'm able to hold the two up together. Yeah, pretty well. And there's a little description about it, and it's of the style that was used from the 18th century onwards, really, which is from the 1700s. But I don't think it's that old. I would put it at early 1800s Georgian period. This will go on the website, the Antique Central website, and it will be listed for about 60 to 90 pounds. I know there's a bit of a range there, but I just need to do a little bit more research. Certainly won't be going on for less than 60 pounds. Next up, we have a lovely little Art Nouveau tray. Now, I think this might be possibly a calling card tray. So it would have been used in the early part or the late part of the 19th century, early part of the 20th century, in a nice house to bring up the calling cards of visitors to the lady or gentleman of the house. If I show you in close up here, you can see it's very typical of the Art Nouveau period and style. It has the floral scroll work, the very organic vines and leaves, and it's not exactly chip carved, but I don't know if you could pick it up, probably it's too fine a detail, but if you actually look around the vines and the leaves, it's actually stippled. So whoever's made this has gone to a heck of a lot of time and trouble to add even further detail beyond the leaves and the vines into the actual base wood with a stipple effect. I think it's quite possibly mahogany. Certainly not oak or pine or anything like that. It is a hardwood, and I'm estimating at the moment it's from the early part of the 20th century, or more likely the late part of the 19th century. So a lovely Art Nouveau period calling card tray, or at least that's what I'm labelling it as, and it will go on the website and it will be on for around about the £60 mark. Next up, a small dressing table box. It's a hardwood with a brass clasp and hinges, and the lid has been decorated with copper swirls. There's no great age to this at all. I would say it's probably late 20th century, so 20 to 30 years old, that kind of period. There's no maker's mark on it. It's a little catch-all box or dressing table box to put your jewellery in, and no huge value. I would estimate £25 to £30 on the Antique Central website. But I do like the detail, the copper detail, and the swirl design on the lid. And it is well made and heavy, and that's what attracted me to it. It's functional, decorative, and it will be affordable at around that £30, £35 mark. So I was quite pleased with that when I picked it up. Next out we have a French silk or handkerchief box, and it's in the style of a book cover. Has the lid nice and clean inside with the original paper liner. It's in a faux leather, embossed. It's green faux leather with a gilt embossing on it, and it has the original label on the base as well, which I can't actually pronounce, to be quite honest with you. It is French, and it's CUIR Veritable. So there you go. I think you can see that. CUIR Veritable. So there's something for you to look up. The dealer I bought it off said it was a silk or a handkerchief box. It's definitely French, came from Parrish. And it's a nice decorative item, attractive, and I'll be listing this for around the £30 to £35 mark on the website. So nice decorative functional item. Next up, something a bit different. We have a small vintage model boat, and it's a trawler, like a Grimsby trawler. How do I know that? Well, it's got the mesh nets hanging down. All its rigging is in place. I believe it's vintage, but this is a really good example of how hard it is to actually value something. There are examples of these, and if you can look them up yourself on the internet for sale for, well, I actually, believe it or not, I actually saw one for £300, but, well, that'll be on sale till the dot. That won't be selling for £300. But they could also drop down to as low as £30. And I will be listing this for around the £40 mark, £45 mark, including shipping. It's only a small model, vintage, but it's in really good condition, which is what attracted me. All the rigging's in place. Needs a bit of a polish up. I'm not even sure if it's British made. Don't know. There's no maker's mark. It could be European. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. A bit of research. And just overall, just a nice decorative item and something a little bit different from the wood and the metal to go onto my website. So, yeah, about £30, £35, I think, listing price on the website. Next up, we have... Now, have you got any idea what this is? It's a barrel, coopered, which means it's handmade, and it has steel bands to reinforce around the rim and the actual body of the pot as well. So, well, if you don't know what it is, I'll tell you. It's what they call a peck, P-E-C-K. Now, a peck is a pot to measure with, and you would measure grain, for example. It's a standard measure that is recognised by the government, really. So you always know when you're trading or dealing, in grain, that you're getting the correct measure when they scoop out the grain from the sack, for example. I've sold quite a few of these over the years, some old ones dating back to the 19th century, but this one is from the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. So judging by the age of it, I would say it's probably 1950s. Now, how do I know it's from that period? Well, because it's an official measure, they're stamped. And you can see here the stamp on this one. Now, hopefully that focuses. But it actually says ER, which is Elizabeth Regina. So that tells me which monarch this measure was used in the reign of. As I said, I've sold quite a few of these. And I would probably put this at £25 to £30 in the region of. I will give it a polish up. I may give it a wax because it's dried out really badly. Don't know, I'm in two minds whether to go just sell it as is, original, because you only get original once, don't forget, or whether to give it a little bit of a wax and a polish. It'd be more decorative, polished up, look nicer. But I don't know, I'm not particularly one for over restoration. So lovely little item, functional, utilitarian grain measure called a peck. Next up, we have a lovely little copper pot with two little handles. Probably Indo-Persian or Middle Eastern in origin, possibly. I'm thinking that because of the detail in the very crude handle, and although it is riveted, but there is a little bit of decoration on the handle, but it's very crudely done. So I'm thinking kind of Middle Eastern or Indo-Persian. The gauge, the copper gauge, is quite thick. It's heavy, which is what attracted me to it, and it would make a lovely little planter. So I would be listing this on the website for in the region of £35. There are some dents in it, which you can see. Now they're easy to get out. You just you either drag a piece of wood across the inside, although I think the gauge of the copper is too thick for that, or you just tap it out. Maybe that's another film to show you how I do that. Again, it is a form of restoration, which I don't normally do, but I just think it's so easy to do and it would look really good when it's done. I probably will take the time and trouble to do that. So, lovely little antique copper planter. That's what it will be used for anyway. So, what else can we have a look at? Well, we have here a bamboo letter rack or letter stand. Now, I picked this up at Malvern in amongst a pile of other stuff, so I got it for a good price. I'll probably list it around £30, 35 with shipping. Thing with these, when you buy them, is to check for damage, because quite often they get snapped, broken, there are pieces missing, but this is in perfect condition. Probably made in Southeast Asia, that kind of region. But it's well made, solid construction, and in really good condition. Sometimes you get them with little brass or copper embellishments on the tops, just for decorative purposes. But this one, looking at it, I don't think it's ever had that. As I say, really good condition. functional. They're popular. If you see them, buy them. And I would be listing this on the Antique Central website for in the region of £30. So we're in that kind of ballpark, £30, £35 haul, really, aren't we? I do get a lot of stock like that. And as you know, I work on a third purchase price, a third overheads, and a third profit. And I've done that for years, and it's always worked out for me, according to my spreadsheet anyway. So I'm quite happy with that. The people I buy off make their bit of money. I cover my overheads and I make a bit of a profit as well. So it's win-win for everybody. I don't shop at charity shops. Never have done, really, to be honest with you. So I do have to pay up a little bit for the stock I buy. Right. I think we've got time to have a quick look at one more item. And we'll finish off this particular haul with another chamber stick, but this is a very different type of chamber stick. This is a French mid-century enamel chamber stick with a bit of a candle left in it. Again, no maker's mark on it. Always check for maker's marks. Nothing there. They're quite popular. Nowhere near the price of the Georgian brass chamber stick that I showed you earlier. I would probably estimate this in the region of £20 to £25 on the website. It's quite a good one. Not that many chips to the enamel. Quite often you get them with big chips out of them because they do have a hard life. But this is pretty clean, which is good news. So it's white and blue and French, I believe. So yeah, about £25 worth there. Right. I think for the purposes of today's haul, that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Something there for everyone, hopefully. If you did enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, share the video to friends if they enjoy their antiques and vintage. And as ever, I'll see you next time. And that is my timer going to make sure I don't go over the 20 minutes. So there you go. I'm trying to keep good to my word about keeping the videos less than 20 minutes. And there it is. As ever, take care, stay safe.